Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the studentloanjustice.org live stream. My name is Alan Collins. Welcome. If you're new, welcome. We're glad that you found us. We are the oldest, largest, true grassroots group actually fighting for student loan justice. We've been around for 16 years now. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to throw them out. I'm going to make it quick tonight, so don't blink or you'll miss it. Couple of announcements. We are good on Georgia interview requests. We got absolutely overwhelmed by people from Georgia willing to be interviewed for a story, a national news broadcast that is going on right now. So thanks to everybody who stepped up to be interviewed. If they contact you, that's great. If they don't, I'm sorry. I think we probably flooded them with like 36 people at this point. So I'm cutting it off. I think we got all the people that we need. If you have a particularly just horrifying, absolutely jaw-dropping, mind-numbing student loan story and you live in Georgia, well, okay, yeah, send it to me. And if I can get it in, I certainly will. But I think we're good there. I want to thank Jessica in Michigan for volunteering to lead our Michigan State Chapter group. And the reason, and let me just back up for a minute, folks. We have uncovered a jaw-dropping bomb of a story that 19 states in the union, the people in those states, owe more than their entire freaking state budgets in student loan debt. Georgia, in particular, is terrible. The people of Georgia owe $81 billion in student loans. The entire, both federal and local dollars, federal and state dollars, the entire state budget of Georgia is like $48 billion. So that's 169% more than the entire state budget that the people of Georgia owe in student loan debt. But you know, other states are also terrible as well. Florida, Missouri is bad. What else? North and South Carolina are terrible. Did I say Missouri? Anyways, there's a lot of really bad states out there. And by the way, there are also more than those 19 states. There are another 10 or 11 states that are right on the bubble. So they owe just slightly less than their entire freaking state budgets in student loan debt. So guys, this story is a bombshell. We've got to get it out. You know, this is the kind of thing, this is the pitchforks and torches type of story that, quite frankly, we should have broken this years ago, like over a year ago. I was aware of it, and I just didn't really think about it. And then, so I finally got around to actually digging up the very good numbers using very current, recent data. And there you have it. You know, people that don't have student loans who are inclined to be against us, when they hear this, they're going to be like, oh, I had no idea. Because remember, folks, that money is going out of the state. 87% of that loan debt is owed to the federal government. And of the 13% private student loans, probably most of that goes out of state as well. So this is just killing state economies. It's just wrecking them. And so people, whether they have student loans or not, should be stunned with this news. The governors of those states should be put on the spot and say, Governor, how could you let this happen on your watch? In fact, I would name and shame governors of those states going back 20 years who allowed this to happen to their states. You know, they have a responsibility to protect their citizens from predatory lending. And they have grossly neglected that duty. So we need strong people, guys. We need strong, pissed off people from those states and even elsewhere who are willing to stand up and take that information and spread it all over the state like wildfire. I mean, this is the thing that could change everything for us, folks. Conservatives have been against loan cancellation for the longest time. Conservatives have been against even bankruptcy protections for the longest time. This should change that dynamic 180 degrees. So if you're pissed off, and maybe you haven't been strong in the past, but you feel like you could be strong for this, please let me know. PM me on Facebook. Send me an email, justice@studentloanjustice.org. We need strong, pissed off people to take this and spread it like wildfire across their states. You know, it's one thing for me with a Washington, D.C. phone number. I actually live in Wisconsin, but whatever. Me from afar, not living in the state, telling the news people what to report. Okay. That's frankly kind of suspicious from the standpoint of these news companies. They're like, why is somebody with a Washington, D.C. phone number telling me to report about this state issue? That's just seems manipulative or just something not right there. But if you say, hey, I live in Athens, Georgia, damn it, and what the heck has happened here? Who let this happen? Or I live in Tampa, Florida. How on God's green earth was this allowed? This lending scam allowed to be foisted upon the good people of Florida. If you live there, it carries way more currency. And just, I mean, come on. Does this not piss you off? Even if you didn't have student loans, would that not piss you off? I think it would. So if you've got the DNA for it, if you've got the passion in your belly to fight this fight, not only do we need you here on this group, but as corny as it may sound, the country actually needs you. So think about that. As I said, I'm trying to keep my live streams very short now. I will finally only say tonight that big things are happening. We did get a stimulus thing, a COVID stimulus tax break, supposedly. In other words, they will pass, President probably will sign a law saying that canceled student loans are not taxable through 2027. So it's kind of stupid for IBR purposes because the first IBR loans won't even be forgiven until, I think, 2027. So it's just stupid that way. But for the purposes of loan cancellation by executive order, it becomes important. So honestly, I have to look at the language and I have to see to make sure that cancellation by executive order would be covered. I have no reason to believe that it would not be, but in any event, it's not a huge deal, but it is potentially significant, so that's good. Other news, there's a lot of stuff in the media right now that people will say, hey, look at this, this is a big deal. It's not. I don't see anything of any currency going through the media right now that's important to, number one, getting bankruptcy returned to the loans, number two, getting the loans canceled. This story we are sitting on right now that you can see linked in a press release, PR 3-3-21 at studentloanjustice.org, that is the news. That's the big news. Nobody knows it yet, but they will hopefully soon with your efforts. I'm not even going to waste your time and mine talking about some of the student loan related stories that we're seeing. You know, the student loan swamp, which includes the media, they love to distract from the issue. So unless they're talking about loan cancellation by executive order or unless they're talking about returning bankruptcy to the loans, folks, it's just don't even read it. It's a waste of your time. 99% of the media that we see is put out by the swamp. And I mean the entrenched student loan interests in Washington, D.C. and Manhattan and Boston and elsewhere who are fighting very hard to keep this lending system going, to keep this predatory monstrosity on our backs. We're done. This lending system is toast. Mark my words. This pandemic is the nail in the coffin. So whether we get a clean, quick ending to this lending system, or whether we get a painful, probably civilly unrestful, terrible, years-long unwinding that wrecks even more people than this lending system has already wrecked, that all depends on your efforts and my efforts and everybody in this group's efforts. We are the tip of the spear, guys. We just are. Our petition is the thing that started the entire conversation about canceling student loans by executive order. So we're on a great roll. We've got to keep the momentum going. If ever you were going to get off your butt and help, this would be the time. Because these are your loans. This is your problem. This is your battle to fight. You cannot sit back, do nothing, wait, watch, and worry, and expect that anything good is going to happen. You've got to fight for it. You, sitting there, you've got to help us fight. So with that, I will just wish you all good luck, Godspeed. Let's make this the best week ever. Get that press release to every news organization, maybe every governor. Send it wherever you think it needs to go. Governors, media, state legislators, elsewhere. But get it out there. This thing, the ball is in your hands. I'll be back Wednesday. Ed will be here tomorrow. God bless everybody.